Let's use a scatter graph plot to diagnose or estimate our cost behavior. The first step is to plot our data, and we're going to put our independent variable, which in this case is patient days, on the x-axis, and that's our sort of our level of activity, and we'll put our dependent variable, our cost, on the vertical axis. So again, we're going to plan to plot our maintenance cost on the vertical axis and patient days in our hospital, which is our activity level, on the horizontal axis. Once we've plotted our data, we'll draw a line through our data points, and we want to have an equal number of dots roughly above the line as we have below the line. Once we've done this, we can then estimate the fixed component and the variable component of our maintenance cost. Our fixed component is going to be where our line intercepts the y-axis, and it looks like in this case our fixed cost is about $10,000 in total. Our next step is to pick one of the data points that happens to be on our line. We'll pick the one right here that looks like it's about 800 patient days, and at 800 patient days it looks like our total maintenance cost is around $11,000. So now we can use that data point, 800 patient days and $11,000 total cost, to estimate the variable portion of our maintenance cost. So we have our total cost of $11,000 at 800 patient days. We'll subtract from that our fixed cost of $10,000, and again, that's simply our y-intercept. And that leaves us with a estimated variable cost of $1,000 for 800 patients. If we take our variable cost of $1,000 and divide it by our activity level, which in this case was 800 patients, we get a variable cost of $1.25 per patient day. So our cost equation then is y equals 10,000 plus 1.25 times x, where y is our total maintenance cost, the 10,000 is our fixed cost, and we add to that our variable cost of $1.25 per patient day multiplied by the number of patient days. Let's look and see how we might do that using Excel. If we've got a data set, our first step to prepare a scatter graph is to highlight the cells that include our data and our labels for our data. Then we go up to Insert, Scatter Graph, and select our scatter graph. Now we have a scatter graph. We can then edit up and change the headings on our graph or other things. I'm going to go ahead and delete the legend. I'm going to come up to click on the graph under Layout, Axes. I want to add a horizontal axis below, and I want this units or patient days. Again, clicking on the chart, Layout, Axes, vertical axis. I'm going to have it rotated, and I'm going to type in total maintenance cost. And I've got my chart. And we can use, again, some of the additional formatting if we want to dress up our chart a little bit more. The next step is I'm going to go ahead and draw my line on my chart. So Insert, and I'm going to select Shapes, and I'm going to click on a line. And I'm going to come up here, and again, I want to fit this so it looks like I've got an equal number of points above and below the line, and that looks like it roughly does it. And in doing that, it looks like I've got a fixed cost of $10,000. My next step then is to pick one of the points on my line, which is about this 12,000 units and a cost of $45,000. So again, my total cost at the roughly 12,000 unit level of activity looks like it's $45,000. So $45,000 less than my fixed cost of $10,000. The difference then between my fixed cost and my total cost will be my variable cost. And I get a variable cost of $35,000. My variable cost per unit then will simply be my $35,000 in variable cost divided by my 12,000 units. And I get a cost equation then of Y equals 10,000, which is my fixed cost, plus 2.917 is the variable cost per patient day, times X, which would be the patient days or activity level.